Welcome to episode 13 of Conversations to Have with Your Advisor. It's been a year since we started this series, and we just thought we'll do a quick recap of what are the topics that we've covered, and you could also see in terms of what are the conversations that you've already had and what are the conversations that you can have going forward and ensure that you have a fruitful investment journey. So usually in the beginning of a new year, there is a lot of buzz about setting new year resolutions, setting up goals, but that kind of eventually fades away as you go along the year. We are 7 months completed in 2024, and in case you have not yet set your goals, or if you have kind of lost track along the way, now would be a good time for you to revisit those goals, set new goals if required, and start working towards them and ensure that the next few months of 2024 you're able to make a difference to your wealth creation journey. Second thing would also be to ensure a few important parts of your financial instruments. So like the first thing would be for you to revisit your insurance, see whether you have sufficient coverage and whether you're aware about your human life value and whether you have adequate insurance. Ensuring that you have nominations in place for all your financial instruments. If you're someone who is looking for succession planning and estate planning, then to revisit that and see how you can take it forward. And lastly, ensuring that you're keeping saving as a habit and maintaining that as a discipline, and ensuring that you're on track with respect to your investments.
I can't believe it's already been 12 months and we've talked to investors about 12 different conversations that they can have with their advisors. Given that this is a wrap up, I think we also need to look at 3 episodes where we talked about things that are relevant even today. So the first episode is something that we did right at the beginning, where we were talking about market volatility, trying to understand what the VIX is and how that measure of volatility can help investors in making investment decisions, and also not to really fear the idea that your portfolio can go up or down in valuation. Given where we are in today's context, I think while you're not seeing large drawdowns yet, you are seeing pockets of volatility, and it makes sense to review and restructure your portfolios, as well as to understand what are the core things that are going to drive wealth creation for you in the coming years. The second episode that I want to refer to is the one where we talked about complexity and performance. There's always been this notion that after you get to a certain level of wealth creation, that you need to go into slightly more nuanced and exotic products. So we see this quite often when somebody starts out as a mutual fund investor. They think that the next thing that they have to do is to trade in stocks or open a portfolio management service. And once they're there, then they look at AIFs or something more complex in terms of trading strategies. Now, the hard reality is that just because a product is more exotic and more complex, it doesn't necessarily mean that it works better for you, right? And there are 2 important dimensions that you have to measure before you make that decision or transition into complexity. One is, of course, in terms of costs, because costs directly eat into your returns. The second element that you have to look at is in terms of risks, because as products become more exotic and more nuanced, that means you are taking slightly riskier strategies as well. So whether that suits your risk profile and your goals is something that investors need to evaluate. The third episode that I would like for investors to go back and reflect upon is about fast tracking to wealth creation. Now I think the hot topic is about FNOs, but when we started this series, at that time there was a lot of hype around mid and small cap, which I think is still there. You're still seeing some level of froth in those market segments. The idea is that sometimes we look at strategies that make us feel like we can hit our wealth creation targets faster, but this need not necessarily be true. When we find these strategies, we need to understand whether, one, we're already behind the best phase of performance, or if the best phase of performance is still ahead of us. We also need to understand whether we're ready to take the kind of risks that are required to make those returns. So I think with these 3 episodes, we covered a lot on how investors can actually focus on wealth creation and how that's going to help them in their journey.
In one of our earlier episodes with respect to wealth creation, we had also discussed about achieving financial freedom and probably having a milestone of $1 million corpus. Now, for a lot of us in today's age, we honestly glorify achieving financial freedom and having the flexibility of making choices. But there is a lot of importance that needs to be given about in terms of once you achieve the financial freedom, how you're going to go about managing your assets, putting your assets into growth-oriented assets and income-oriented assets, which is going to help you maintain the lifestyle post your retirement or once you achieve financial freedom, because a lot of goals can be expensive, and in today's time most people have a lot of their goals and they have a lot of aspirations that come once they achieve this. So for example, this could be sending your children abroad for education or traveling afterwards, or just having a lifestyle upgrade once you achieve a particular number. So keeping a milestone for yourself, this could be $1 million or another figure that you have, and working towards that, looking at it more from an asset allocation angle and how you want to plan towards it based on how your career is moving is also crucial in building your wealth creation journey. And another important role that comes in wealth creation journey is with respect to your family and the support system that you have around you, who are going to help you and encourage you in this journey of achieving financial freedom.
Speaking of support systems, I think there are a couple of important things that we've discussed in the last year that are worth repeating. One is, of course, that when you're in a family structure, you need to have some clear designation of roles and responsibilities. So when you're making decisions together or independently, you need to keep the other person informed and in the loop. We also need to recognize that a lot of financial decisions are actually emotional decisions, and it's important to talk with your partner through these situations. We did a special edition for women as well to talk about the different milestones that they might cross in their lives and how they can actually plan and process these milestones and make the best use of their financial resources through this time frame.
Another important point which we covered over a few episodes was with respect to asset allocation. I think asset allocation has been one point that we have been emphasizing throughout the series. So it is important for you to look at which juncture you are in, what are the goals that you have set for yourself, and work with your advisor in terms of achieving these milestones and mapping them to suitable asset classes. So whether you're somebody who is just starting out investments, whether you need asset allocation right away, or whether you're someone who's looking for building that $1 million corpus, how your asset allocation should be, and whether you're someone who's closer to retirement, how your SWPs need to be structured, or whether you're someone who's saving to like pass on as inheritance, how one's asset allocation should be. And given that multiple asset classes are doing well today, and also the recent change in taxation and the laws around that, it's important for you to revisit the conversation with your advisor today in terms of seeing how your asset allocation is spread across and whether you need to scale up or scale down in any of these asset classes.
Last but not least, we need to talk about the elephant in the room, which is both common, normal, and something that we're observing today. A lot of investors are making investment decisions based on events. This is very normal in the markets, but it can be quite counterproductive to wealth creation. We had done an episode on the elections in June. But essentially, we have a lot of events lined up, whether it's in terms of the budget that happened recently or in terms of US elections that are going to happen later in the year, or even other monetary policy announcements, because there's a lot of hype around a Fed rate cut. So if we look back at the success rate of predictions and forecasts in any of these events, we'll realize that they've not really been that great. And investors often delay or change their investment strategy based on potential outcomes. This can be quite destructive for wealth creation, and instead taking a more nuanced and longer term approach, saying that, okay, this is my goal and this is what I have to work on, and these things will happen or not, right? I think that allows us to maintain the focus as well as the right kind of discipline in achieving our goals. We've had a really productive 1 year in terms of conversations with advisors. If you have any suggestions for what we should be talking about or what kind of conversations you'd like to have with your advisor, do let us know in the comments below.